This is Pastor Tyler Robbins from Cedar Kinney Road Baptist Church. Wanted to make an announcement about our church and the COVID-19 virus in Thurston County. To cut straight to the point, we're having church services this Sunday on March 15th, and then we're going to be closing our building for 2 Sundays until April 5th. Now at that time, we hope to begin at least resuming Sunday morning services, and that plan could change for better or for worse, depending on how the situation develops. Now, there's reasons why we're doing this. Many of them are pretty obvious. According to the Washington State Department of Health, as of yesterday, the 13th of March, there are 568 cases of COVID-19 in Washington State and 37 deaths, the majority of which have been in King County, which is about 1 hour north of us. There are still 67 cases that the Washington Department of Health haven't yet assigned to a particular county. And the Washington State Department of Health and the CDC warn that there are probably many, many, many more cases that just haven't been tested yet because of the difficulties in getting testing conducted on all the people who might be eligible. And according to the Thurston County Public and Social Health Services, there are 3 cases of COVID-19 in Thurston County, which is up from 1 as late as Thursday. And because the first case in Thurston County was only 2 days ago, it's reasonable to suspect that the number of cases in Thurston County is going to rise. Our state and local officials have taken several steps which weigh toward us taking the steps that we're taking. On March 11th, Governor Inslee canceled all large gatherings of 250 or more people in King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties. On March 12th, the governor canceled all public schools in King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties. On March 12th as well, Thurston County declared a public emergency and banned all public gatherings of 250 or more people and required all smaller gatherings to implement social distancing, keeping 6 or more feet away from other people to prevent the spread of this virus. On March 13th, yesterday, Governor Inslee canceled all public schools and private K-12 schools across the entire state. He did the same for public and private universities, colleges, technical colleges, apprenticeship institutions, etc. And yesterday, Thurston, the Timberland Regional Library closed all its facilities until April 24th. To prevent the potential spread of COVID-19. And that's important. The library is not a place where hundreds of people gather, but it is a place where a lot of people come. And when people are in contact and touch things and touch surfaces, then you have the potential for the disease to spread, even if you never actually see the person who might have passed it along. So this is our concern at Cedar Kinney Road Baptist. People in Thurston County need to limit the spread of COVID-19, and the way to do that most effectively is to stop getting together in large groups. And that's the plain fact of the matter. This virus spreads much like the flu. Washington State, and more particularly Thurston County's ability to treat people who are impacted depends on the system not being overwhelmed and inundated with masses of people all showing the same symptoms and same signs at the same time. The system is more apt to survive and help people in our community and provide resources if the impact of this virus is distributed and spread over time. That's why if you watch the news or read the newspaper, you've seen these charts with these bell curves, and a longer bell curve with a less severe impact is much easier for our public health systems to handle. This is why there's this push to restrict social gatherings. If we stop getting together, we lower the risk of infection and we can help Thurston County's public health system manage with what's probably going to be happening. So there are different options Christians can take in this situation. I'm going to list 2 common objections that I anticipate some people will have, and I understand why they have them. The first objection is this a panicked knee-jerk reaction? There are plenty of people who believe this is all overblown and it's a panic, and Christians don't need to take it that seriously. I don't believe that's true. I believe that this is a prudent response to an emerging crisis in our state. It's a fact that the virus spreads like the flu. It's a fact that COVID-19 is particularly lethal to elderly individuals. It's a fact that anybody can spread it to an elderly person. It's a fact that disinfecting surfaces in the building won't stop someone from getting infected if a contaminated person comes into the building for church services. All disinfecting does is a reactive thing. It kills the virus after it's already made it into the building. It doesn't stop someone from actively passing it around by coughing or sneezing or wiping their hands all over everything, chairs, doorknobs, light switches, etc. It's also a fact that President Trump has declared a state of national emergency. It's a fact that Governor Inslee has declared a state of emergency. And it's also a fact that Thurston County has declared a state of emergency. And it is also a fact that SKRBC is in each of these jurisdictions. The other potential objection would be, are we forgetting to trust God? Are Christians not trusting God in this situation? No. Not at all. God is in charge, and things will turn out for us as He wills. But God being in charge is not a blank check for fatalism or for continuing on business as normal, saying, well, it's all going to turn out right that way in the end. If that's the attitude we have, we shouldn't bother to evangelize, because God will save His people in due course as He wants anyway. And of course, Christians know that's ridiculous. That's not the way the Lord's told us to act. He's in charge, and we make prudent and intelligent decisions, and we use the brains and the common sense that God has given us while trusting that things will turn out as He wants. The more sensible precautions we take as a church and as a community in Thurston County, the more we mitigate the impact of the virus in our community. I believe the best way we can love our neighbor is to care enough about them by not making worship service a potential vehicle for making a bad situation worse in our community. So this is what we will do at Sleater-Kinney Baptist. Beginning Monday, March 16th. Services will happen as normal on Sunday, tomorrow, March 15th. But beginning March 16th, Wednesday prayer will happen at normal time at 6:30. It'll happen via Zoom video conference. We'll send out a link on Wednesday. Anyone who has the link can join the prayer meeting by video using a laptop, a mobile phone, or a tablet, or just by calling in by telephone and participating. So we'll still be able to have prayer together and pray as we normally would for one another's needs and for our community. Awana Kids Club is canceled through April 5th. The Winsome Fellowship for our seniors is canceled for March 2020, which was due to happen this week. The Adult Sunday School will be held at normal time at 9:30 a.m., but it'll be held via Zoom video conference. And just as on Wednesday, we'll send out a link on Sunday mornings. If you have the link, you can join by video using a laptop, a mobile phone, or a tablet, or you can also join and participate by telephone if you wish. The Sunday morning sermon will be live streamed by me at the normal time, 10:45 a.m. on YouTube, just as we do now. We'll send out the link on Sunday mornings. You need a desktop computer, a laptop, or a mobile device to watch it. You don't need to download or install anything. You just simply go to the link on YouTube and you will watch the sermon live as I preach it from somewhere within my home. And we'll work to get anyone who needs one, who's part of our church family, a device to watch the sermon if you don't already have one. Tithes can still be submitted to the church. Our building, our missionaries, our personnel and our ministries are still here. You can simply just mail them to the church if you wish to do that. The U.S. Mail is very capable of getting it to church. Pastor Andrew and I are working on ways where we can serve the more vulnerable and elderly people in our community. Since we're not going to be meeting together, perhaps we can go coordinate and help purchase groceries and do store runs for people who might otherwise be reluctant to go out for obvious reasons if they're elderly or particularly susceptible to this virus. And we'll see what the Lord brings for that, but we're working on that. And if you have any input or suggestions, contact Pastor Andrew or I. We hope to begin resuming at least Sunday morning services on April 5th. We'll see what the Lord wills. He's in charge, and we'll see what happens with the situation in Thurston County. Moses wrote in Psalm 90, "Satisfy us in the morning with your steadfast love, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days." That's what he wrote in a psalm where he urges people to have an eternal perspective on their life, on their problems, to look up from what they're dealing with, and to look to the Lord and have a divine perspective on what's really important. Let's have that perspective that Moses had. Let's look upward to the Lord in these troubling times. God is on his throne, and he always will be on his throne. In that same psalm, Psalm 90, verses 1 and 2, Moses wrote, Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations, before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you formed the earth and the world. From everlasting to everlasting, you are God. That's true, and it'll always be true. I hope to see you this Sunday, and then I hope to see you virtually for the next 2 weeks. And I hope we can get back together again on April 5th for morning services and worship the Lord together. The Lord is building his church. The Lord knows about COVID-19. He knew about the Black Death. He knew about World War I. He knew about World War II. And he's known about everything else in between and far, far before all of that. The Lord's building his church. Jesus is in charge. Jesus is coming back. And the Lord will make all things new one day. And everyone who belongs to him will live in a world where we don't have to worry about this kind of thing anymore. We can worship the Lord forever and fulfill the mandate he gave us way back in Genesis chapters 1 and 2. That we messed up so badly. Jesus will lead us, and if you belong to him, you're safe and secure, and you have a home in his coming kingdom. I'll see you guys soon.